Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cardaholics of all ages, welcome back to Big House Cards. Thank you so much for joining me. I got back from Target just a couple minutes ago with some bug spray, and my Target has the sign that many Targets online are displaying, and that's sports cards and Pokemon cards and really trading cards of any type are limited to one per person per day. Now, many people are annoyed at this. I don't think anybody's more annoyed than the scalpers, because now they got to get their kids out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning to wait in line, or they got to have their family members and friends come wait in line with them and then cut everybody and then buy their one thing and then they can sell it online for their $20 profit. Congratulations. But I think that this limit is one of the best things to hit this hobby in a long time. It shows the Target at a corporate level is aware of what's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to get rid of cards altogether or move them all online and actually have a way to beat these bots, which they seem to be doing. I don't know if you set up Target online restocks like me, they actually have like test sections where, oh my word, Prism went on sale, but now it's not. But now it is, but now it's not. I think they're finding IP addresses and blocking them if it's a bot. If they can, quote, get a purchase in there quickly, come on. I was able to get a Prism Blaster manually. It was up for like 5 minutes. I was like, how is this happening? I got to open a Prism Blaster at MSRP. It was amazing. Target is actually taking steps to limit this whole scalping nonsense that's happening. And more places are doing it too. Kudos to Best Buy for constantly having limits in place. Walmart needs to take a lesson and take a step in the right direction and start limiting things. You know, I know a bunch of guys who go to Walmart at 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursdays and Fridays, and, you know, depending on where the Walmart is, even sometimes Mondays and Tuesdays. And they just buy up whatever they can. And understandably so, from a collecting perspective, if you're tired of people scalping things, you're going to get as much as you can, because if you don't, then they will, right? I get that mentality. I have a budget, so there's only so much that I can spend on these things right now. Plus, I am going to try to sell some stuff and actually buy a really nice PC card, which, if I can do that, more to come on that. But, you know, Walmart doesn't have limits in place. And you got people, I know a guy who hides cards in the gardening section and the sporting goods. I know people who've hidden things in puzzles. You know, you get to that point where it's like, I don't necessarily want to buy it now. Not that I can't afford it, but I want to be able to come back and buy it later. It's almost like a weird victory. It's interesting. My Target had a Hidden Fates tin restock a couple weeks ago, and those videos are coming. They're all recorded. I got some pretty cool stuff. But there was a day where I hid 2 tins to let a buddy pick them up. I said, hey, here they are. They're in this section. Well, he was out of town, so I'm like, hey, I'll just go get them for you and you can just pay me back. He's like, oh, cool. So I go back to this Target. This is like Friday morning. There's 2 guys standing there. And this is when they still had 3 of each item as your limit. And there's 2 guys waiting there. They got like their baskets ready to go. There was no restock that day. It was actually quite funny. They restocked on Wednesday, so they were standing there for nothing. But I go grab these 2 tins, and I also grab a Don Russ basketball blaster that I found, and I kind of hid with it, just kind of like, never know. And they're still there. I grab them, and I walk to the self-checkout. And the one dude, he's probably in his, I don't know, 50s or so. He comes up right behind me. Everything's already scanned. And he looks in my bag. I see him out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, can I help you? He says nothing to me, walks away, goes over to a team member, and he's probably like, he's pointing at me. He's like, where did he get those? I mean, I didn't hear him. My guess is he's probably like, where did he get those? Or who does he have an inside connection with? The paranoia is insane. This is a piece of cardboard, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting so upset over pieces of cardboard. We are descending into madness over pieces of cardboard. And I'll be the first to admit, I've had my mad moments. I have. I've gotten to Walmart at 7 o'clock in the morning because it's the only time I can get something. I've been ready to purchase things at Target.com. That's just the hobby. That's the nature of the hobby right now. But steps have got to continue to be taken to get it to where it once was. And part of that lies with the retailers to put limits in place, prevent resellers. I think part of it is also on the big card shops. Panini and Topps know what's going on. They have to. Pokemon Company obviously knows. They're ramping up production. But the major card shops like Blowout and Dave & Adams and Steel City and all these other places, they're jacking up the prices too. And you know, many people say, well, Big Al, that's their right as a business. You're absolutely right. It is their right as a business. Doesn't make it the most ethical. Yeah, well, that's capitalism. I get it. Capitalism doesn't work for everybody. And this is not going to turn into a capitalism versus socialism debate. That's not at all what I'm trying to do. Okay. I can say capitalism is annoying when it affects me directly. And I think many of you would agree. You know, I used to be big into Funko Pops, and those things were at one point ridiculously huge. And they still are from time to time. But the card market I feel like it's more insane than Funko's a couple years ago. Or Funko's as it is now. I don't know. But this madness is partly to blame, in my opinion, on the big sellers. Topps had Bowman Baseball up earlier this week. I think it was earlier this week, yeah, for $200 a hobby box. Not bad. Not what it was a couple years ago. Obviously, prices are going to increase as more people are interested in, you know, supply and demand, all that stuff. But the big places are selling it for $350, $400. How much are you getting them from your distributors? How much markup is absolutely needed on these things? You know what I mean? Like, you guys are selling a Bowman hobby box for $350, $400. You paid $200 for it, so you're getting $150 for it. I get that business has got to make a profit, but is there some line here where business can say, okay, we're making a profit, but we're not also gouging? You know, I feel like there's a difference. In my opinion, anyway. I'm just a small-time YouTuber. What do I know? You know, I haven't shown my face, for crying out loud, so y'all don't even know what's going on. So you can take my opinion for what it's worth. That's fine. But I feel like partly it's to blame, yes, on the scalpers of the retail and the people who have the bots set up, but I think it's also to blame on the big distributors and the big salesmen. In my opinion, they're just as culpable. Just as culpable. That's just me, though. And I know some people who'd be like, yeah, David Adams and all these other places blow out. They're just marking it up like crazy. You're right. So my challenge to David Adams, Blowout, Steel City, whoever, what are you going to do? Are you going to be just as much of a scalper as these retail scalpers? Are we going to get to a point where people can actually enjoy a hobby? Because in my opinion, this is still a hobby. This is not an investment. This is not an investment opportunity. You got the people who are like, this is going to be a $10,000 card in the future. How do you know? You don't know. You can't know. It's a piece of cardboard. I can say this is worth $10,000. It's not. This was an $8 card, so that's how much it is. There's like 9,800 of these or something like that. The Mickey Mantle, Andrew Thiel, Project 70 card. Yeah, I paid $20 for it. I think it's selling at the secondary market for $15. So I sold it, you know, I bought it at a $5 loss for a chance at a rainbow foil. But who cares? These are both beautiful cards. They really are. I mean, I'll give you an up close look at this deal. Look at this thing. This is somebody's artwork. This is 110,000% worth $20, in my opinion. And be like, oh, well, it's only selling for $15. I don't care. I don't care. Because that's staying in my collection. It's beautiful. It's the closest I'm going to get to a 1952 Mickey Mantle in artwork form. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, you know what? Cars are going to appreciate and depreciate in value all the time. But it's such a fickle market. Fernando Tatis Jr. had a shoulder injury like the first 2 games of the season, and his price has dipped a little bit, and now he's back, and now they're skyrocketing again. Luis Robert, at the time of recording this, had some leg injury happen in a game. His prices are going to tank. So everyone's going to say, buy now, buy now. Don't sell now, buy now, right? It's all an investment game, these people. It's a hobby. Sorry. In my opinion, it's a hobby. Is there a level of investment that people make in it? Sure, they're putting their money into something, and they might pull a Mike Trout autograph that's worth $400. So they may have turned 200 into 400. Okay, great, congratulations. You know, from that perspective, sure, it makes sense. But to drop thousands of dollars on an 18-year-old kid who's never played a major league game in his life, thinking he's gonna be the next Mike Trout just because people have compared it to him? Come on now, come on. We gotta stop this investment, scalping, flipping mentality in this hobby and go back to the way things were. We gotta stop normalizing this. There's a well-known basketball YouTuber, basketball card YouTuber, excuse me, who opened Prism Cello packs for, and he said in the video, it's $45 a pack. No, it is not. It is in the secondary market, but don't normalize that price. It's $15. It's a $15 product. That's what it is. Don't normalize the scalper prices, because the more you normalize it, the more people are just gonna accept it for what it is. Fight back against it and stop buying it at $45. Well, then I won't get any. Okay, buy the single cards. You know, there's gotta be a level to a point where this entitlement in the hobby where I deserve it at this price, or I'm not, you know, I just deserve this card, has got to stop. The entitlement's gotta stop. Well, Big L, you're sounding entitled right now. To each their own. If that's what you think I sound like, that's fine. That's fine. I want this hobby to go back to the way it was 2019, where it was enjoyable and nobody cared about scalping everything. I missed those days. I really do. It was fun. Back when things weren't so expensive. I got a jumbo hobby box of tops for $140. This year they came out, and Blowout had them at like $250. We gotta stop this. We gotta stop the normalization. I'd love for it to go back to the way it was. And I'd love for the scalpers and flippers to sit down and open a pack of cards and see how fun it is. To actually stay in the hobby and not just be a part of it for the sake of, you know, the 2 years that it's hot and then leave for the fear of missing out, or the FOMO as the online says. I'd love for everybody who's entering this hobby right now, for good or bad, to stay for the good. Because there's a lot of good in this hobby. There is. We've got to sit down and enjoy it. Go watch YouTubers. Go watch breakers. Participate in breaks. But the money, scalping, all that financial side of it, until it's gone or is diminishing, I don't know how long we'll be in this I can't find anything at retail era. I really hope it ends soon. I really do. I hope you guys are able to find stuff. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, what you guys are doing right now to get product. If you gotta get out at 7 o'clock in the morning, tell me what your stories are. If you go to Target, there's one per. How many people have you seen get in fights? Like, I wanna know what's happening. Let's start a conversation. Please leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, stay tuned. The 100 and 250 subscriber giveaways are still waiting for those numbers to hit, so please consider subscribing and sticking around. I have a ton of ideas that I'm gonna try to play. And until next time, thank you for listening, and bye-bye.